with Randy and Romeo from DJI, looking at the new DJI Inspire 1, flying in the Flynet behind us. How are you?
Hi, Sarah. I'm great.
Good to have you with us. I'm not going to interrupt Romeo as he's flying at the moment. Tell us a bit about, everyone's excited about the DJI Inspire 1. Everyone wants to get their hands on one. Tell us about it.
Right. Well, we have about one more week until they will be released. In fact, when production starts, which was a little bit behind schedule, but now it looks like they're about ready to be released. And we listened to our 400 engineers because they know what they're talking about. So we didn't want to rush things out the door. The Inspire 1 is a quadcopter that is really the most sophisticated, all-in-one aerial filmmaking platform so far in existence. Because not only does it have a camera that is a professional level camera, but it's a crossover drone. Really, that ups the level of the Phantom series, and it's not quite as intimidating as the spreading wings series, the octocopters and hexacopters. And so this camera has this entire set has Lightbridge incorporated. I'm a photographer. I'm thinking Lightbridge. It has Lightbridge incorporated into the remote controller and the drone, which means it can send a high-resolution video downlink right here onto his iPad from up to a mile away with no latency, which is a long way to have a clear picture of what's going on. The camera shoots in 4K, which is a hot item these days. In multiple frame rates. It also shoots 12 megapixel still photographs, and the stills can be in DNG RAW files or JPEG files. One of the cool things that one of the most interesting things about the Inspire is that the legs retract when you take off. Either the takeoff can be automatic takeoff. You just swipe a button, it takes off, lifts its legs up, and that gives the camera a full 360 degrees view around you. It can even pitch itself upwards, so you can aim the camera upwards still without seeing the propellers. Romeo is reorganizing, so he landed the drone. So you see the legs transform there, and it has an optical flow system on the bottom of the camera. It has sonar and an optical camera, two different systems that look at the ground or look at the floor, and they find a spot and they lock into it, so that if you don't have GPS satellites, if you're under a tree cover outdoors, if you're flying and shooting architecture indoors, the sensor locks the drone to the ground, or it doesn't lock it to the ground, but if you were to let go of the controls, it would lock itself in place without drifting, without GPS. No GPS, it's just solid as it can be. You want to show it just hands off, locked to the ground? Romeo's concentrating. Another cool thing is when it hits the lower, 2 or 3 inches off the ground, it doesn't have that prop wash anymore. It's very stable. Just hover very low right there. See, it doesn't bounce around anymore.
I see that.
That's something I don't know if that was something engineers came up with, or they said, wow, look at that. And, but another feature is a smart battery. It's an 18-minute battery that communicates with the app. It communicates with the drone. It has all kinds of safety built into it. Speaking about safety, DJI has no flight zones built into all of our products now, which will not allow you to even start your motors if you're within a certain distance of a major airport. It will not allow you to go to certain altitudes if you're within a certain distance of an airport. So those are some key features that we really are finding that are becoming very important, because we're all trying to work together as a team, all of the drone manufacturers, and with the FAA as well, and make sure everything is wonderful and everyone flies safe. Romeo, do you have any additional points on the Inspire?
What I really like is my gimbal control, that I not only have the zero to seeing the horizon and hold on, going down 90 degrees, but I can now also tilt up 30 degrees. Now I can see the sky, and for a photographer like me, this is really interesting, because I want to do photography of sunrise, sunsets, and the sky is my main subject, so it's beautiful.
Okay, so you guys are both photographers. You're both using this for those high-quality images.
DJI has 400 engineers. They need a little bit of artistic some artists on the team. And so we are expanding our San Mateo office, brand new office. We have offices now, 2 offices in Los Angeles. We have Japan, Germany, Amsterdam, Hong Kong, Shenzhen, China, and now San Mateo. San Mateo, we expect to grow pretty quickly. That will be the headquarters for our SDK development, which is basically people building apps to plug into your drone, just like we plug apps into our iPhone. I remember when you bought your first smartphone and you go, why does anyone need an app? Oh, I have my phone and I have my camera. What else do I need? Right. Now we live by our apps.
And you think that's the way that the drones are going to be going?
Yes. I think we'll have dozens and dozens of apps within a year or 2 that are very practical apps for different uses. Even around the house, I don't know. I always think about we all think about the future of drones in our lives. And I was telling Romeo yesterday, it'd be great to wake up and just do voice commands and say, drone, go find my eyeglasses. And so it recognizes the shape of the glasses, it finds them, it brings them to me. Soft little drone, it's safe, it flies indoors. Drone, go pick up my newspaper. Drone, go out and look at the kids in the backyard, make sure they're good. You don't know. We don't know. Right now it sounds silly, but everyone was sort of everyone thought that the Amazon package delivery and all that was way out there when they first mentioned it, but it's not way out. Everyone's accepted the fact that it will happen already. Maybe not so fast in the United States, but it's now implanted in our brains. It's not going to be a weird thing anymore. Drones are becoming ubiquitous. You see by this festival where we have, at least 3,000 people showed up this morning. And we have so many drone companies, and so we all know that drones are inevitable. They're here to stay. We've reached that critical mass, I think. There's a social etiquette being formed around drones. We know, we're sensitive to people's privacy. We're very sensitive to safety, and so this etiquette is forming. 2 years ago, remember when you flew maybe your first Phantom, and a lot of people started getting into drones, and the first thing they did was say, how high can I go?
Absolutely, we did that.
No longer do we do that. We've gotten over that little thrill. I'll never do it again. I find most of my video and still photographs are best maybe 50 feet off the ground, maybe 100 feet off the ground, and so I think that's the way that the drone industry is going. We're not so thrilled with going as high and as far as we can, but we're flying safely, and the products are becoming much more safe. And our CEO, Frank Wang, is several times the other day, I heard him say, this isn't good enough. This isn't good enough. He pushes for perfection, and so he's a really great guy to work for, and I'm loving my new job. I've only been with DJI for 4 months, and now we have a director of education who's going to be.
That's going to be an important function, because it's not only the flying part, but it's the education part that's key. From the pilot who's going to start learning to industry, how they can use it, all the way to the public, so that then we can tell them what really is happening. And lastly, also the government needs to be educated, and so it's going to be a tough job for all of us.
Oh, we quite agree. And on that drone show, we founded International Drone Day, which is happening on March the 14th, really? Which is all about educating people, trying to educate the media and the wider public that drones are good, about all this fantastic stuff that they do.
There's so much goodness happening with drones. People see the people who have no common sense, but there is so much good happening, and drones will save lives, and we know that. I'm going to do a selfie of us because you're famous.
You're famous.
How do I do this? Okay. Romeo, get in here. Are you done flying? Turn it off for a second. Turn the propellers off. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Thanks for flying, Romeo.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, guys. Really insightful and great.